Good morning.
Coach, now, I mean, 8 Big 12 championships in a row now, and your 8th year in Texas. What do you think is the most fulfilling part of your role now that you're in here?
Whew. The most fulfilling part about being, at Texas actually is I do feel like a new energy and a lifeblood of our department, and I think we're under fantastic leadership in CDC, and I feel there's a great camaraderie with the coaches and the head coaches, the assistant coaches, and it's a pretty unbelievable place to work. And it's not it. I mean, definitely it's about winning, and you feel that, the pressure and the expectation. But I think pressure is a privilege like that, and so now I think everybody's understanding like where we're going and what's expected of us, and it's pretty fun when we're all working in the same direction. So I think that's my favorite part about maybe the last 2 or 3 years. So.
What do you think is something that this team specifically has taught you in your own coaching career that maybe you hadn't learned in your experience at Georgia or Texas?
That's a really good question. In the last couple of years, what is this team? I think it's just a constant reminder. I mean, as coaches, like something that I just have to keep expecting the best, like the very best out of our athletes, and expecting sometimes more than believing in them more than they believe in themselves. And that's difficult sometimes because but that's our role as a coach. And so they keep teaching me that because the heart, you need to push them as hard as you can, but like you can't break them. But just to have those high expectations and keep expecting to perform and letting them know that they're actually capable of way more than they believe that's the fun part, but it's also the most difficult part. It would be easier just to be like, oh, that's okay, but it's not very good either. Yeah.
Did you expect to be dominant last week?
I did expect to be dominant.
To win 18 events?
Yes, sir. Yeah. In that, no disrespect to our conference, but our conference, I can't say a word because Eddie only has 2 teams with which to compete. So I feel like in the lap of luxury when we're competing against 4 other teams. But it is daunting sometimes to look around at the rest of the country and the other conferences, because that's a really they're very, very competitive, and just in swimming, our conference isn't as competitive. So I hope to be very dominant. I wish I would have not expected, but I would have hoped to win all the events. And it does show we have some weaker spots, and we have some holes, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to be really good. And so I think it's a testament to how tough our women are, and it's the women, the men, to go in, because in some ways we're just competing against ourselves, and you can look at that 2 ways. Like, I do believe that competition brings out the best in people, but especially our team, and so I know we'll do better at the NCAA championships than at conference. Where I think it sometimes hurts us is because that when you have that middle layer of kids who are striving to make NCAA championships, a team race would probably help them more.
But do you lose that? Do they sometimes lose their edge, and you got to look for other motivation?
Absolutely, because like the men's team they have so many people that are vying for their NCAA spots. They have that competition. Right. They have it. But like if you're looking at other teams around the country, saying they're in a team race at their conference championship, that can raise your middle level up, because everybody's fighting for every single point. And when you're just competing and not worried about times, that's when you really do well. So I think that's why we try to set up a really tough dual meet schedule, and we try to set up competitions all around. We did some different things this year, just to race other people, because at the end of the day it is about times, but it's also just getting your hand on the wall first.
What do you look for in scheduling, knowing that Big 12 is not going to give you that competition? What do you look for when you're scheduling those dual meets?
We really just want to race the best people in the country. And some of it's budget. We can't. Some of the best teams like Cal or Stanford, we can go out and race them, but sometimes they can't reciprocate because they say like, okay, we only have one trip in our budget to go out. Because most conferences, whether it's Pac-12, ACC, Big Ten, they have schedules that they have to do, and so a lot of their dual meets are already taken up. So I'm calling around, talking with my colleagues, my good friends, like, okay, let's have a back and forth, let's set this up. We went to Minnesota, the Minnesota Invite, last December, because we realized our invite wasn't going to be as competitive because a couple teams dropped out because they wanted to go to an earlier invite, and so we said, all right, and Cal was there, Michigan was there, Arizona was there, so it was actually really competitive and really fun. So, I mean, competition makes you better. It's fun.
Who surprised you this year from, start to finish whenever you brought everybody in back in fall to now?
We have, I don't know if there were good surprises. I guess we just have a really young team. We lost 8 seniors and brought in 5 freshmen. So just numbers-wise, we're a little short. But the 5 freshmen we brought in, they have fantastic dispositions. They've gotten really close as a group. But I just think the energy and kind of their enthusiasm they brought to the team is palpable. It's really fun. So it didn't surprise me, but I'm really happy that's what I saw, and that's actually what we got. So.
Who was the biggest surprise of the championship? Anybody?
Probably maybe a tie between Claire Adams and Kelly Pash. Kelly's just really, really consistent, and she's a joy. She's one of the freshmen. I talked about her disposition. She's just a joy to be around. She loves racing. She doesn't like drama. She just likes to let things roll off her back, and I appreciate that as a coach. I mean, she's very coachable. And Claire, she deserves everything. She's worked hard. She is a consummate leader. She wants nothing but the best for the team, and she carries a lot on her back. And she, just getting our school record and being the best she's been, like her best 3 swims in her life so far, and against no one. I think that wasn't because lack of pressure. She's ready to go. So that was pretty fun.
Talking about those 2 that you touched on, with Kelly and Claire, what did you learn this season about their relationship, having come up through the high school ranks together?
I don't forget, but I think Kelly was just such a little kid when Claire was a senior, but to have that relationship and understand where each other's comes from, I could see Kelly taking on that gauntlet of leadership moving forward, and they have a really good time with each other and a really good understanding. So swim completely different events, so it's not it is like a big sister, little sister, but they train and compete so differently. But it's I like what both of them are made of,
Why is Carmel such a hotbed for swim?
Oh, wow.
What is it?
I think, again, it's like expectation and belief and just a great high school environment. Indiana has great high school swimming. Drew Kibler on the men's team is from that, Carmel. And it's just really good coaching and good people. You get that, Midwest, just good stock, hardworking, that kind of they're not real highfalutin, or they care about the right things, and I like bringing it to my team.
When you began, taking note of Claire there at Carmel, were you already aware of Kelly Pash?
I remember seeing Drew. I don't remember seeing Kelly. I mean, Kelly came up upon the ranks. She's able to swim everything. She was a young one. I remember when I was there, they pointed out, hey, but there are coaches that all the time say, this one's going to be great. This one's going to be great. And then 1 or 2 years later, they're not around anymore. People grow 6 inches or they get out of the sport or something. So, I mean, but she's one that's been consistent the whole time. So, and it's also just about looking what's a good fit for our program or fit for my, it's, I mean, some things about me, but it's also about that coaching, the coach-athlete relationship, and you have to find a good fit, people that can handle. Texas is a different place, and it's a great place, but it feels different, and you have to have people that actually really want to do something special when they're here, not just come in and I'm here, I'm at Texas, I can just hang out. So I think that's, I feel it, they feel it, and the ones that kind of rise to that pressure and expectation that's the fun part.
And do the men drive the women and vice versa? Is it contagious?
I'm not sure the women drive the men at all, but I think I am grateful I mean, just to call Eddie, like to stand on deck with Eddie. It's not like we're a combined program, but I'm grateful. He tells me, I mean, he'll tell me what he thinks no matter what, and I appreciate that. That's like the best sign of respect is when, you know, he tells me something that's maybe uncomfortable, and he'll grab my arm and say, Carol, I don't want to say this, but because it makes him uncomfortable. But he said, but I like you so much, I'm going to tell you anyway, you know. And I mean, most of the time he's right. You know, every once in a while I'm like, Eddie, you don't, come on, you know, give me a break. But
Please cite when he was wrong.
he is no, but he is right. He is right a lot of the time, and I really value that, and I think he does. He just does an incredible job. His team's in a way different place, but I still learn a lot, and I think that's the greatest thing. I mean, you can watch YouTube videos, like just, you know, any great coach, like it doesn't matter who you Saban, or any coach that you want, but you have to coach what's inside your personality, right? You can't.
His ego a little bit.
Yeah, no. I mean, Eddie's got an ego, but like Eddie takes the blame a lot. Eddie owns his team. He owns behavior. He owns swims. I mean, so there's just so much to learn just by watching and listening. Like I am always humbled, and it's fun. So I'm grateful we have a good relationship, because there are some, you know, separate programs. You walk on deck, you can just feel the tension, and that's not a fun place from which to coach, right?
Can we ask you on the record about the coronavirus?
You may, yeah.
You said earlier you're not in the panic, and
Correct.
that's the coach in you. Does it affect your swimmers? Your divers?
I think there's an underlying anxiety about Olympic trials that I feel, an underlying anxiety of like, it maybe a week ago people weren't really into that, but there are a few kids that are pretty. I've got a team of type A high anxiety kids, and just to keep them on the level, and just expect them to kind of go on business as usual and be professional about things. I think hearing of other Olympic trials being, you know, whether it's Italy or hearing about Canada maybe being canceled, I think that's sending up little waves of alarm, but I think we're just trying to stick to, can we just take one day at a time, 1 week at a time, look forward to the championships, and then we'll go from there. There's nothing we can do about it right now.
Right.
Just take care of each other and take care of ourselves.
We have time for one more.
You don't worry about, they would never cancel national championships like this, would they? You know, when you see Italy, where everything's behind closed doors without fans.
I don't think, I mean,
You can't conceive.
but I can't conceive that in a week they're not going to have a meet because of something, unless there's some gigantic outbreak on the University of Georgia campus. I could see some schools behaving like Harvard, making their team drive instead of fly. I can see some schools, you know, we've taken some measures. So like Matt, our diving coach, is going to go coach in Japan, in Tokyo. And when he was going to come back, he was going to have to quarantine himself for 14 days. But to do that, then he's going to miss his Olympic trials. Well, he can't do that. So we're going to have to work around that, and because not only is he one of the best coaches in the country, he needs to get the spot for the United States to compete in the Olympics, and then he needs to go put his divers on the team. So I think we're being really rational and smart about it, but that's what I appreciate. So
Thanks, Coach.
thank you.
Sure.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you.